in Weatherford. The mayor of the town of Weatherford is here for the first Monday of the month. Hello, Mayor
Good,
Mike Brown.
good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, John.
Oh man, how are you this morning?
I'm doing good.
This is me weird. It's our first 5 days of work.
Yeah.
Like 5 days in a row, you're expected to be at your office
Right.
and do things.
Yeah, this is like the first day I can actually know it is Monday. It seems like
Yeah.
everything's been like, okay, what day is it?
Yes.
But yeah, we're back in a groove.
School back today.
Yeah, that's good.
To get back to all that and had the first where were we at? We had the busy weekend. It really was.
Yeah.
A lot going on. They had the powwow, of course,
Right.
the Pioneer Cellular Event Center. We were at Weatherford, had some high school basketball games.
Right.
Their first home games of the year.
Yeah, I showed up. I'd watched the end of that boys game and nobody there at the gym. I didn't realize it was an afternoon game. I thought they were nighttime.
I did
Change the time.
exact same thing. In fact, we had I was getting lunch for the girls at Sonic, and I was just looking through Facebook, while you're waiting, and I had this. I think Debbie Sage is on there anyway, and she had put game day 3:30. See you there. I was like 3:30. I'm not getting there till 6.
I missed that memo, but that's all right.
I was filling in for them this weekend.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
anyway,
Good.
So yeah, it was fun, but yeah, we got there early and got them all knocked out. And
Yeah.
both girls and boys won. So
Yeah, and I think they had a bunch of basketball games going on at the Wellness Center up at the university too. Just a lot of people in town for that also. So yeah, a lot of activity. That's the way I like it.
Yeah, busy.
You
Is
bet.
good. Hotel rooms were full.
Shoot, yeah.
Can't ever complain about that.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out where the hotel motel tax went. You guys
bet.
spent some of that money in your last meeting,
Every month.
which is always a good thing. We have a new city commissioner
We do.
as well. We'll talk about that coming up this morning, and plus all the other new secrets that you're not supposed to tell
Yeah,
us.
you bet. Can't wait.
Conversation Corner is brought to us by Lucille's Roadhouse on the Coyote.
What are you waiting for? ASAP has their 2020 refill mugs, and if you haven't heard, the deal is better than ever before. You can now not only get endless refills at any of the ASAP General Store locations, but you can also get free refills at Lucille's Roadhouse. That's right. Just take your mug with you to Lucille's, and you can get your drinks for free. But wait, it gets better. Right now, for a limited time, you can get 1,000 points back on your kickback card when you purchase the mug. That's $10 back. What are you waiting for? Go get your refill mug. Available at any ASAP store or grab one at Lucille's Roadhouse in Weatherford.
It's All About Moi in downtown Weatherford is celebrating another anniversary. Can you guess how many years? We'll give you a hint.
Take time to smell the roses, but don't miss the specially dent. It's exactly what you need. That's right, it's a dozen. It's All About Moi's 12th anniversary is going to blow you away.
Check social media to get all the details on the amazing sales and specials.
We would like to thank all of our amazing customers for 12 wonderful years.
Did you know that the Great Plains Family YMCA has a child development center and an after-school program? And they also offer transportation to and from morning and afternoon pre-K classes, as well as transportation from East, West, and Bertram Elementary schools. They have a food program for all child care options. And with a membership, you get discounts on all of their youth sports programs. And did I mention they are waiving the $50 joining fee? That's the Great Plains Family YMCA.
Make a home at Wheatland Ridge, 215 South 28th Street in Clinton. An excellent neighborhood near a lovely park, a large storage facility, and a hospital. Wheatland Ridge offers walk-in closets, large rooms, 1.5 bath, and so much more. Rent as low as $475 a month. Wheatland Ridge is now leasing. Come see how Wheatland Ridge could be your home. 215 South 28th Street in Clinton. Call 405-819-4196 for details and information.
Coyote Country 95.5 with Van and John.
It's Conversation Corner brought to us by Lucille's Roadhouse on the first Monday of the month. For all of these years, when it was the original Conversation Corner, you've been the guest.
Yep.
Mayor Mike Brown. And also for all of these years at noon, the first Monday of the month is the storm siren testing.
Sure
Weatherford.
is.
So,
How long have you been the mayor of Weatherford?
Well, this is starting my 17th year. So
Wow.
It's my 6th term, 3-year terms, and so this is my 17th year. So I have 2 years remaining on this term, and so that'll, if I am able to stay around, that'll be 18 years. So it'll be a pretty good run.
No, that's a great run.
what is the longest?
Actually, the longest was 12.
Oh, okay.
So
you've surpassed.
so I passed that. So that's good. Yeah, I think we had a couple. Gary Rader was 12 years, and There may have been one other that was 12, but I think that's the longest.
Is there and this is I don't mean to like we're
No, I
wanting you
get it.
to leave or anything, but is retirement ever on the option, or is it something you're going to do till you're 100 years old, or
I told somebody the other day, this term will get me to 65.
right?
And, so really the way this is set up, that's probably when I should be starting doing this job. Like I
Right.
kind of did it the wrong way. I've had a regular job also, and then trying to do the mayor's thing. So if I'd have been smart, I'd have probably just, done my insurance job. And then when I got done with that, became the mayor. So, people ask me if I'm going to run again. And I said, I don't know. I mean, it's too early to call for me. If things are good and, I'm still enjoying it, I'm not afraid to go again. But on the other hand, I want to be effective and I want to still like what I'm doing. So, here in a couple of years, as it gets closer to the time, I'll make that decision. And, my wife retired from the university this past July, so that's
Yeah.
been a good thing. And so, we'll see how it all works out. Got those grandkids, got to make sure available for them. So we'll see how it goes.
Being at the Thunder Court unveiling or the ribbon cutting
Yeah.
for that, and just being a part of, being there and having my kids there and them watching you come out and thinking to myself, they actually know him.
Right.
They know where he lives. They've been to his house for trick or treating or whatever. And I thought, I just kind of had that, I don't know, nostalgic moment
Yeah.
of, wow, what a great community we live in, and what a great example for my kids to, watch and grow up for seeing, like you said, you enjoy yourself
Yeah.
as a mayor.
Well, I think it is fun. And, I'm the same way, just like that Thunder event. We had like 2 days to get the word out. And, I was a little bit worried about, okay, well, we have a crowd, but, people showed up
Yeah.
and a lot of diversity. I mean, there was people from, all over town that, could see the benefit of that Thunder Court. And, we were fortunate to, to be on the list and to get that. Is something that, we've had people working on the last several years. And, our number finally came up, and we were certainly appreciative too. Enable Midstream, and of course the Thunder Cares Foundation. It's a great deal for communities, and I would encourage any community that doesn't have it to start now.
It takes a while, right?
Yeah, you get they award at least 2 of those a year to 2 different communities. So, it's one of those things that, is a great asset. They either refurbish or build a new court, and, it's going to be good for a lot of years here in Weatherford.
And I feel like it's really whipped that park back in shape,
Wow. I mean, we had some old playground equipment that
Yes.
probably didn't meet any, any of the rules as far as ADA or anything like that. So we were able to remove that. We had some old tin barns, kind of, or sheds behind the old scout hut. We took those down. We took out a dead tree. We, kind of revamped it. And it's really kind of made a beautiful little park. And hopefully we're going to do some things on the swimming pool this next year. And so, kind of rejuvenate that whole area. So, that's an old park. I remember going to it as a kid. I just lived down the street, and so walked to it all the time. But this just makes it better.
Absolutely.
A lot of fun there. And speaking of, doing some things with the swimming pool and other community projects and things, the renewal of the sales tax is I think finally kind of finalized of what all is going to be brought to the ballot.
It is.
Talk about that for a minute.
Yeah, we tried to identify, through the 4 meetings that we had, what the important things of the city were. And of course, it ends up being the same thing as what we've had the last 10, 15 years, or maybe forever. We still recognize the university, being a big part of our community, so we want to include them. The hospital, we know we've got to have a hospital in this community to be competitive. The public schools, we want to do what we can to help them, and then of course the city's infrastructure. So those are the areas that we'll continue to support. We've got a steering committee that is actually meeting to try to get this in ballot form, get it to the election board. I think by the February 7th, and then the election will be April 7th. So the people have an opportunity to vote on it. I hope that people will get out there and just, it's a renewal. It's not a new tax. It's actually keeping that same penny sales tax on that we did 10 years ago. So hopefully it'll pass, and we'll see a lot of great things because of it.
I know the police station's a big thing. Of
Yeah.
course, talking about building that kind of that campus thing, and then also, like you mentioned, it supports the schools, supports the college, kind of supports the hospital,
Yeah.
which is under new leadership
Yeah.
now. They just announced
Right.
theirs.
Yeah. I'm anxious to meet the new director, and sounds like he's got a great background, and I think the hospital is doing really good. They've gone through several years when they've lost money, and so I think
Yeah.
they're kind of getting back on track and getting where they need to be. So I'm encouraged about that.
I donated to the bill over the weekend.
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah,
shoot.
Just, trying to help out the hospital.
Okay.
In all the ways.
Well.
We had a little fumble, if you will, a little bump and bruises.
Oh, shoot.
But no big deal. But
Everybody
I thought it was-
okay?
Yeah, everybody's good, healthy. But I thought it was really cool because this happened Friday morning, probably about 7:00.
Oh.
And then yesterday, I received a phone call from the Weatherford Hospital, and were just following up.
Really?
Just
Well,
checking
great.
in, seeing how things were, and making sure everybody was okay.
Well, that's good news then.
And I was like, yeah. So yeah, everything is good, and I thought that was kind of good.
Yep.
Now, if I can just pay my bill, the hospital would make money. That's,
I'm surprised you answered the phone if you saw that
I
hospital,
know.
Come up. But anyway, that's
that was,
good.
That was probably their way of setting me up.
Yeah.
Oh no, we're just calling to check on you
Right.
and
Okay.
find out where you live and find
Yeah.
out. When
Yeah,
you
I know.
pay
By the
us.
way,
Yeah. Here's that
no,
bill.
that's good. That's great. Well, we've got a great hospital, and I think the partnership with St. Anthony's has been positive, and so hopefully we'll just continue to find our niche and compete as a rural hospital, which is pretty tough these days.
We talked about the hotels being full this weekend, busy
Yeah.
weekend in Weatherford, and that contributes, of course, to the hotel motel tax. It kind of goes full circle. We help out different events that help fill the hotels,
Sure.
and then they supply that fund, and then the fund brings up more events to fill the hotels. And but it's also good for the businesses in town, whether it be the restaurants or Main Street or the shops, the boutiques, everything. And so your commission meetings, you guys are always have the task of
Sure.
approving different funds to different things. I know, of course, they had a basketball tournament, I think, was on
Yeah.
there. The baseball
Right.
tournament was on there.
Yeah.
And just things like that. How important
Yeah.
is that to continue
Yeah.
doing that?
Well, Heartland Museum, I think they're
Heartland,
advertising.
yeah.
So we try to support as many of those things as we can. And just like you said, you're talking about that powwow this weekend, and I'm not sure that they actually requested any funds from the hotel motel, but there was 1,000+ people there. They were from
Right.
all over. Really, if you didn't get an opportunity to do that this year, you need to plan on it next year. I told the governor and lieutenant governor of the Cheyenne Arapaho tribe that we'd be open to hosting this every 2 or 3 weeks. If they wanted to have that, and they said once a year is probably plenty. But
Right.
but it was a great turnout, and I think people had fun, and really it was a great way to showcase that Pioneer Cellular Event Center. And but anything that we do, whether it be basketball tournaments, baseball tournaments, any activity. It brings people to town, and when people come to town, they spend money, and so that's what we kind of base it on. And went to the little concert we had, music on Main Street Friday night, and that was funded by the hotel motel. And so those are all things that we can benefit from. And by the way, I really like the band. It was kind of a different little different genre than what they've had in the past, but it was a band coming through from been in Texas last night, going to Las Vegas, been to
Right.
Florida. They're making the rounds, so get a little culture while you're here in Western Oklahoma, so it works out.
I heard it was good. That's another place, speaking of showcasing the Pioneer Cellular Event Center, showcasing that Business Enterprise Center on the campus. That's a pretty nice little building there.
It looked really neat set up for a
Yeah,
concert.
it was good. I was a little concerned, thinking, okay, I don't know how that's going to work, but there was a great crowd. The sound was good. Visited with Max and Leah over there, and they both said, hey, this is something that we can do. So, I think they'll probably host more of those. And, it's hard to know who's going to show up and how many
Right.
for anything that you have. But, really, it was a perfect setting. The other night had seating as well as people standing in the back. And, I think it's a full house.
It's really interesting, this idea that they've come onto with the Music on Main through the Weatherford Arts Council of you don't necessarily have to have some band that someone's heard of,
Yeah.
and then you're trying to get that budget and you try to make it work, and it's like, well, does anyone really want to see this one-hit wonder type,
Right.
And so I love that they're just bringing in good music.
Yeah.
And it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all super good with
Yeah.
all of their instruments. That That
Wow.
drummer was crazy. Did you
Yeah.
see? At one point he threw up one of the sticks
Yeah.
and
Yeah, no, he was good.
doing some
You know,
tricks there.
I
So
thought it was kind of interesting. There's some of the people there. I don't know if they knew really what
what
kind
they
of
were
music.
getting into.
Yeah, yeah. And I thought, but just like me, I like a lot of different things. And so, hey, it's just another, popular, type of music. And, I liked it. I thought it was good.
And it was neat too, John. You didn't get to be there for it, but they were big on audience interaction.
Yeah.
So they wanted you to sing with them and
Clapping,
clap
just,
and
a
so,
bunch, which was good.
yeah, it was a good event.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun. A new a new city commissioner.
Sure did.
Introduced and oathed in. Is that what you call it? Sworn
We did.
in. It happened to Mark Shaded,
Mark Shaded,
former
yeah.
principal at Weatherford High School. Talk about him and kind of what you expect him to bring to the.
Well, Mark's a longtime Weatherford guy, grew up here and, was able to start teaching here. He and his wife, Kathy, both have taught. Then Mark moved into administration and went from the middle school to the high school and well respected. I told him, I said, hey, you're used to people yelling at you and hollering at you, so this job will work out great, but he was willing to step in there. He retired. Still doing a little bit up at the school, but, was willing to serve in that capacity. So, Mark's, he's not coming with any agenda. He's there to do the right thing. And I think he'll listen to both sides of everything that comes up and make a good decision. So I'm excited to have Mark on the commission. And I think he'll be good for years to come.
More annexed land came into, I think.
Yeah.
Was it Little Mexico kind of over there in that area? We were able to sell some of it, I think.
We
right?
did. We had about 11 acres over there that we had purchased several years back. There was going to be it's kind of I want to call it a junkyard. It was a salvage yard, and we didn't think that was what we wanted people to see as they moved into Weatherford. Even though it was a good business, but we felt like that one of our commissioners, Joe Johns at the time, said, hey, I think the city needs to purchase that and have it there for development. Well, that was however many years ago, between 5 and 10 years ago, we bought it. We had an offer for basically the same money that we paid for it. And so we signed a contract, and we're hoping that that's going to develop. That plus the Little Mexico both sold. And so, hopefully that's going to be tore down and something brand new come in there and take advantage of that intersection there, on I-40.
Do we know what type of developer bought it?
Well, there's been a lot of things brought up. There's been hotels, restaurants, convenience store, the same type of thing,
right.
Just what you'd see on any exit ramp, so I don't think there's anything, set at this point, but it's going to be for sale. It's going to be marketed, and hopefully we'll see some benefit from that.
Yeah, because you could argue it should be just as successful as Airport Road. I mean, it's easy on, easy off. It's right there, both sides.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of.
Well, I would love to see it just because that extends, really our footprint as far as now you've got something, big, pulling people off the interstate or people driving
Right.
to on the west side. We've got it on the east side. So, I think that I think it's going to happen, and we're kind of betting on it. And, it's going to be when it does happen, it's going to be, beneficial to the city as a whole.
Lana Road project, everyone keeps talking
Yeah.
about and talking about, and then of course Lyle Road there as
Yeah.
well.
Is that not done yet?
Well, I thought you were actually going to give us all a refund for our tax money since we decided to not do it.
Well, I guess we're going to collect it all before we actually do the project.
Okay.
We are getting closer. I mean, that has been even for us. We're like, okay, we're trying to be patient, but we've got another meeting set. I think maybe this week to talk to landowners. There's people that kind of on the out the other side of the golf course that are concerned about the water runoff. So we're going to be visiting with them, and but we're getting closer, and I know that I've been talking to the utility companies. I think we've got all the right of way purchased now. I know that's been that's a little bit bigger deal than you think about. Even though there's not that many landowners, in that mile, you've got to make a deal with every one of them to basically encroach on what they felt like was their property, even though it's our
Right.
easement.
Right.
But we've done that, and I think we're being fair with the people there. Probably the biggest gripe that we've got is there are some situations where you have to take down a tree here and there. Somebody that's planted a tree 50
yeah,
years ago.
yeah.
So that's the tough part of it. But overall, I think that it's been a smooth process, and you will see some activity this year, John.
Okay.
You will see it. It won't be completed, but there'll be a bunch going on.
Now we're talking like 11 months from now, or are we talking?
No, no, I think it'll be quicker than that.
Okay.
I think that we're thinking actually they'll get all that right away purchased. I think that probably by the end of this first quarter, March or April, then we'll start seeing some things happen. So then everybody will be griping about a road being tore up for a year, but we're, it's going to be progress.
No, you're right. I think I'd rather them, instead of started and then have to wait for several months to do some other things. I'm glad y'all are attempting to get all your ducks in a row to make it go as fast as possible once they start.
And the deal is, we're going to keep that road open during the whole project. So, that's another thing. You can sit there and shut it, close it down and, go faster, but, you can't do that. You've got too many people, live out there and going that way. So there'll be 2 lanes open, the whole project.
Well, exciting times. When's Burger King opening?
Hey, have you been by there? It looks like it's
some
almost
walls,
done.
Yeah,
it looks good. They got the walls coming up, and I think that I think somebody told me about June. Is when that'll be completed. So, but that's going to be fun. I mean, another restaurant, and I think that's it. Maybe earlier than that.
Stop it.
Maybe April.
Maybe they mixed at the end of January.
Maybe so. I don't know what it is. Hey, then we got a new restaurant coming in downtown where Luigi's was.
Yeah.
They're a new Mexican food place that somebody told me they were out of Bartlesville, and they're going to be opening downtown, which is really good. You need to have restaurants downtown that are open later, have people moving around. We've got the shed down there. We've got downtown diner. Now, add this Mexican food. We've got the coffee shop. So, we've got some places that stay open. So, I'm encouraged about that.
Sounds exciting. No, it's funny. I think there's one of those businesses right there next to Burroughs Audio had moved out, and it doesn't take long for someone else wanting to move right in.
Yeah, we had talked about that. There's been a lot of people moving around. You're talking about Burroughs, and I think Security Finance moved, one corner, and then we had the new nail place that went in there by McFetridge Park. Had been somewhere else, and just kind of a lot of people moving around. But whatever they move out of, somebody moves into. So it's not like there's empty buildings. So I think that's good.
I think the nail place being moved has really helped them out as well. So
it looks good.
Like they're pretty busy all the time.
Well, that's a nice building, and there looks like there's activity there all the time, and and we are going to be talking about McFetridge Park. We are going to be repainting the gazebo, doing some other things down there to hope to continue to have activities, downtown, and we're talking about our music on Main Street. We've got the Route 66 nights that has really been successful. They'll be carrying that on this next year, and so I think that's all good stuff. It's all things that things to do, and people always want to complain, hey, there's nothing to do out here. So we're providing a few of those venues.
Same color for the park.
I think we're going to change it up a little bit. I think that we've had a
light green.
Well,
light green
it's
right
light green now. Been talk about maybe a light gray, and I don't know that's good or not, but that's just the talk. So
don't let Carlin pick out the colors. There's some ugly fire trucks.
Well, that's true. We're not. Hey, we're not going that whatever color that is.
He tells me they're meant to be seen, and that's the reason for it. But I mean, they
stand out. You got to admit, they stand out.
I saw them working this weekend as they were taking down all of the holiday decorations.
Right. The street department gets the decorations off the poles, and the fire department gets the big decorations there in middle of Main Street. So anyway, it's time. They're getting all those down. Probably have all those put up this week. And I thought some of the new decorations look good. We can't replace all of them at one time, but we got the snowflakes. I don't know if you saw those on the side banners and across the roads, and they had a lot of compliments on those.
Well, there you go. It was very holiday season, but it's officially over. It's 2020.
Yeah,
is where we're at already, and tax revenue expected to climb. I know it's a tougher time right now in Oklahoma, but not I mean, it's to be expected, I guess.
Yeah.
The ups and downs.
Well, we're thinking it's going to be about a 6 up and 6 down for the year. This first one, we're pretty sure it's going to be down. Last year we were up 27%.
Right.
I brought in over $1 million for that month. So I haven't got the figures yet, but I know it's going to be down. So I would anticipate it being down 10 or 15%. But we'll catch that up. We'll catch that up here in 3 or 4 months. I think we'll start seeing an increase. But this first couple be a little shaky.
We talked about the other day, I think, just kind of comparing notes to other places. You always look around other cities, and it's nice when you see some towns that are having to take a penny sales tax that was meant for growth and just making it into their general fund just to keep operating.
Yeah.
And so the fact that we're still able to continue with this 1 penny renewal and to use that for growth and to specifically say this, to the school and to the college and to a new police station and a new complex and
we were able to look at capital items, things that we, that almost kind of like, well, maybe we can't pay in a regular budget, but yet this is something we'd love to have. And so, we can see some of these things happening, and I think that's going to be positive. And you're exactly right. I mean, we're sitting pretty good, I think. I just hope that things continue to run like they have been. And but it's good.
Speaking of fire department, they just got themselves a raise too. Didn't that happen?
They did, yeah. They get a little bit of a raise. They negotiated that. They have the fire department does have a union, and really we've got a good relationship. And there wasn't a whole lot that they asked for this year. Basically, the kind of same raise as the majority of them city employees got.
Well,
but
I think they deserve more.
Well, they do deserve more,
That's
but
right.
we can only do so much. And so, but we've got a great fire department, and they, same deal. They do everything we ask of them. And I know you had reported they had a few more calls this year than last year, and really it was a good year. But we've got good employees, and they do their job, and I never have to worry about what's going on down there because it's a well-run operation. And we're still proud of that safest city designation, and try to make sure that we have a community that is protected.
Is it time for a second fire station?
Well, if you ask them, it is. And it probably is. But same deal. I hope that'll happen in the next few years. That we do have some land that's been dedicated for that. But hopefully we can do that. We're growing our footprint. We're annexing. Seems like every few months we're bringing in some different areas. So the need's there. Just the money's always the issue.
Well, one big event before we let you go is the Weatherford Area Livestock Show.
Yeah.
It's a good time to have that with things kind of slowing
Sure.
down. So that'll generate a lot of business for folks, and nice to go out and support something.
Yeah, that's a really great event, and now's the time that from what I understand that people really get geared up, on the ag shows, kind of working their way up to the the final stuff, and but yeah, we've got a great ag show, and a lot of people come out to that, brings people to town, and we're continuing to try to improve our facility out there. We've gotten the budget to add new bathrooms and concession. It won't be done before this ag show, but it will be for the the later in the year. So that's been something that a lot of people don't think about being beneficial to the city, but it brings a lot of folks, and they spend money when they're here.
Well, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. Always enjoy it. Happy New Year to both of you.
Happy New Year.
That's right. 2020 is going to be the best ever, right?
Best ever.
Best
All right.
ever.
Sounds good.
Conversation Corner is brought to us by Lucille's Roadhouse, and Community Calendar is next.